Hey, everybody, welcome to Empowerment Sessions with yours truly, Philip Super. Now, this podcast is meant to empower the authentic version of you to impact the world around you like only you can. So, before we get into our conversation, if you haven't already, please take a moment and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and also share with someone that you know. All right, ready? Let's go. Hey family, this is Philip Super, and as always, I am grateful for the opportunity to come into your space as we dive into each session. And my intention is to empower you, to give you strength, to give you clarity, to help you to focus and help you to see things from a perspective that gives you not a false sense of hope, but a realistic sense of hope and understanding, knowing that it all begins with you. I'll say it again. Not to give you a false sense of hope, but to give you a realistic hope, a realistic understanding that the change that you seek, that the power that you seek, that the necessary essentials to bring about change, to cultivate change, to sustain change, to embrace change, even to strategize and envision the changes that we desire are alive on the inside of you. And they just may need to be stirred, awakened, revitalized, restored, shifted. I'm thinking of, certain products in a can. You have to shake the can before you open it because it's been sitting on the shelf for so long that the ingredients have kind of like settled at the bottom of the can or at the bottom of the jar. You just got to shake it up. Or maybe it's juice that you buy, orange juice. You got to shake it up so that all the ingredients can mix themselves so that it's able to be consumed. Otherwise, it's not going to taste the same. Well, you yourself are just like that gallon of orange juice that's sitting on the shelf. And maybe you've been sitting on the shelf and you've placed certain gifts, certain dreams, certain aspirations in your life. You've set them on the shelf for a time in the season. And I want to speak to you today from this perspective. I want to talk about this idea of writing things off. And when I say writing things off, I'm not meaning this in terms of tax season as you write off certain things with your taxes, but I mean it in the idea of certain things that you have dismissed, that you have deemed as to be invalid or no longer valid as it relates to your ability, as it relates to the timing of your life, as it relates to dreams and aspirations that you once had. Or maybe some things are still churning, but yet you have wrote them off because you feel like you don't have the necessary resources, you don't have the time to cultivate and to give attention to it. And so I want to talk from this perspective because we began this year talking about seasons, and it has been a great flow of sessions as we have developed and introduced new themes and perspectives as it relates to the seasons of our lives, all the way to the point where we speak about the seat of transformation and how we are the answers and we are the seat. We house the seat of change as it relates to our thinking. And one of the things that is so important for us to understand is that maybe in previous seasons of our lives, we have misinterpreted the processes and the experiences in which we've encountered. And I want to say this again, that in certain seasons of our lives, we have misinterpreted the processes and the experiences of our lives. And this is a common mistake. We all do it because in the time of the experience, a lot of times we're cluttered and we're confused because we're bombarded and we're overwhelmed with emotions, and sometimes we're overwhelmed with the feelings of unmet expectations, whether it's inner expectations, we feel like we let ourselves down, or we feel like we've let others down, or maybe it's been a situation that involved more people and we just feel like other people have let us down. And so we've wrote off the possibilities of certain things happening, certain things being able to occur, certain things being able to manifest, certain things being able to come into fruition, because of what we experienced and how we interpreted that experience. We took that experience as a complete permanent no. But I want to speak to you that this may be your season, that you would relaunch again, that you would start expecting the possibilities of that happening again, that you would recreate that opportunity again, that you would go back and that you would relaunch that business, that you would revamp the idea, that you would update the methodology and the strategy that you initially had, that you would regain your energy, that you would stir yourself up again to go back and live from a place of wholeness instead of heartbrokenness and venture out for love again. See yourself being married again. See yourself in a healthy relationship, even though you may feel like you've never experienced it. Open yourself to the possibilities of a new beginning. And sometimes these new beginnings are old opportunities that we misinterpreted because of the pain of the experience in which we experienced or encountered in the times past. And I hope this is helping, because a lot of times what we do is we take the pain of what we experienced and we use that to build up walls and to build up blockers and boundaries that will repel the occurrence or the reoccurrence of anything that looks like that experience happened again. But in the initial experiences, we encountered, or we met those experiences with a sense of pureness. We would say, I was hoping for, I was optimistic about, I saw it happening, I saw it being possible, and I was determined. And then we experienced failure on some point to some degree that caused us to walk away from it. And sometimes we've walked away from things in our lives that were meant for us, but maybe not meant for that season. And here's two things that I want to put before you. One, yes, it may be meant for you, it just wasn't for that time. Maybe we sought it prematurely. Maybe we sought it with a heavy zeal, but without the wisdom, without the understanding, without having a full grasp of the whys behind what we were doing and what we were seeking, what we are aspiring for, not connected in the right areas of relationships, or even in the knowledge to understand the hows and the significance of the why behind the hows and the whats that were required in order to stabilize, to cultivate, and to manifest whatever it is that we were seeking and we were desiring for. Maybe we weren't at a level of maturity in where we are. Yes, we had the strength. Yes, we had the stamina. Yes, we had the encouragement to do it, but maybe we didn't have the maturity to handle the significant weight of what we endeavored and what we desired. But that's one thing. But another thing is, maybe that failure, maybe that falling apart, maybe that pain was very crucial for you in that time. Even though it was not desirable, it was needed. Why? Because pain has a way of motivating us. It has a way of pushing us. It has a way of shaping our paradigms and our dispositions as we mature and as we live through it. Not in the moment in it, but in the time period that we live through it, and we're able to fully process it from a different perspective. We can see things differently from the time that we on the way that we saw it while we were in it. It's a blessing in being able to look back in retro and see things from that vantage point. Oftentimes, while we're in the situation, while we're experiencing the pain, while we're experiencing the grief, there's an element of truth that we understand, but we suppress it because of how we feel is so real. But when we are blessed to live through the experience and not die in the experience, then we can find ourselves understanding the whys behind it and the significance, and take away wisdom from that experience. So the two things that I wanted to bring out is, yes, maybe it was for us, but it wasn't for that time. And therefore, we weren't able to execute. We weren't able to manifest. We weren't able to leverage it. We weren't able to scale it. We weren't able to grow it. Or maybe it was for us, but we just didn't have the maturity for it. We just didn't have the development, because maybe we missed out on the significant opportunities that were presented prior to the opportunity. of a lifetime. And we weren't ready for it when it came because we missed out. We didn't have the eye to see it. We didn't have the keenness. We didn't have the right people around us to coach us, to mentor us, to guide us, and to help us navigate with the wisdom of the ages. People that have done this, been there, done that, people who understood and understand even now. So it's important in this season of your life. I want to announce to you rather, that this is the season where you'll be able to launch out, you'll be able to go forth, you'll be able to re-strategize, you'll be able to revamp your methods, to update your methods, to update your approach, to have a broader, more wiser and larger perspective of what it is that you need. But you'll also be able to understand the details and the significance behind these details. Maybe you were in the previous season where you were trying to do everything yourself. And this season, now you're called upon to network, to communicate, to understand what it is to build relationships, working relationships, and understand how to value the significance and the distinction of those that you will work with, the difference of who they are and how they think and what they bring to the table. This season, you're in a place where you understand the significance of vision casting. And this season, you understand why it is so important for you to forgive, to let go, and to relinquish guilt, shame, grudges, bitterness, resentment, and embrace love, embrace the significance of peace, understand the value and clarity and focus, and understand what it means to be resilient with wisdom, to be resilient with a pure heart, to be resilient with a clear focus on the goal in mind, and understanding the significance of the strategy that you're going to use to obtain the goal. I know that I've said a lot just in these first 10 minutes. I'm pouring out like water. So get your bucket so you can capture it. Get your pen, re-listen to this over and over and over and over again. Because as you're listening to it, you should be in a place right now mentally where you're able to recall the experiences, but also understand the significance of strategies that you missed out on. Understand where you could have pivoted, right? Understand what will it take for me to launch that thing, to launch that successful business, to bring that vision to manifestation in this season that I'm in. And I'm not encouraging you to just on your mark, get set, go, and just run until the finish line. No, I want you to find your pace. I want you to find your rhythm in this season. Find your rhythm and your pace. There's a saying that we say, and there's a little bit of it that's in the Bible, but we say that the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one that endured to the end, to the one who will be consistent enough to make it to the finish line. And oftentimes the easiest part is starting, but to maintain, to find your pace, to strategize, to endure the journey in between, to make the adjustments, learning how to pivot and to navigate through the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, and even the boring patterns of just going straight with no excitement, but knowing that you're sticking to the plan because you're interested in seeing the results and that you're committed to seeing this thing come to pass. And so it is through those winds and those turns, and sometimes those periods where it's just straight, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. That motivation, that inner encouragement, sometimes encouraging yourself, sometimes being surrounded by encouragement. You're going to go through those seasons, but it requires you to endure. And endurance, when you talk about a marathon run, you have to know your pace. You have to know your pace in order to synchronize your breathing so that your body, so that you don't faint, so that you don't lose breath, but you can strategically know when you need to pause, know when you need to slow down, know when you can speed up. You manage your energy, and it's the same thing as it relates to relationships, as it relates to business, as it relates to your career. You have to understand your pace, what is required of you, and what is it going to take for you to remain on the pathway and to be consistent to bring whatever it is that you're seeking to bring to pass, to manifest, right? We're talking about visions. We talk about goal casting. We talk about strategizing. We talk about the big picture, the big idea. What is it that we're going for? And the why behind the what, the why behind the how. Understanding the significance of strategy and understanding why you are doing what you are doing. Having the right people around you. to push you, to connect you, that you can glean from, that you can learn from. One thing we understand is that it's not good if you're the smartest person in the room. You need to have someone in your life, at the minimum, someone, if not a group of people, that will challenge your current understanding, people that you can glean from, people that you can learn from. But you also need people that you can pour into, people that you can mentor, people that you can guide. These are the things that keep you from becoming stagnant, stale. These are the things that keep you from giving up and quitting, because you have something to reach forward to, and you have people that you can pour into. And these are major components when you talk about the evolution of who you are as an individual, who you are as you grow in your relationships, as you grow in your relationship with yourself. You are continuously evolving. You are becoming a better person of yourself. You are becoming a greater person. You are becoming a greater manifestation of all the things that within your mind you are able to imagine yourself as being, the greatness of who you are meant to be. It is for you to be it. It is absolutely for you to be it. So don't misinterpret the past experiences of your lives, and don't discount yourself because of what you experienced in the past. Oftentimes, we close the doors to any future glory because we have failed to understand that the processes of pain were processes of development. It's like weightlifting in the gym. We lift these heavy weights, and these weights do not feel good. But after time, after understanding the significance of the pain, and understanding that that pain is a sign of growth, that pain is a sign of development, that pain is a sign of maturity, that pain is a sign of conscious awareness, that pain is an awakening of discernment. And then we persist because now we know that what initially hurts is really working for us, and it's developing us, it's building us, it's helping us to cultivate new strength in areas in which we did not have the strength. And it's not that the strength or the muscles weren't available, they needed to be developed. And this is the key for where you were. Those seasons were to develop you for what's ahead. And when I say what's ahead, I'm not speaking of months from now, years from now, but I'm speaking of your next moment as you're breathing. This next moment, your next day, tomorrow, next week. I'm speaking of these moments that are right in front of you, that are proposing opportunities that you are more than capable of taking advantage of. But you have to process it. That my experience has qualified me for another level of expertise. My experience has taught me some things that have given me a greater appreciation for where I am and for the opportunities that are being presented to me. Don't misinterpret the previous seasons of your life. Don't misinterpret it because of the pain that you felt, because of the emotions that you experienced and the disappointment that you encountered. Don't misinterpret it because you had to walk through some days of shame and depression and disappointment and pain, and you had to grieve some things, you had to let go of some things, you've lost some things. In some areas you probably were manipulated, in some areas you probably manipulated other things and other people. But all of those experiences are past, and you can take wisdom from that and begin to walk into something different, something better, something that requires of you a different interpretation of what you have previously assigned to your past experiences. To know that what I experienced was not to work against me, but it was to develop me, to mature me, to change my perspective, to give me a wiser perspective, give me discernment, to sharpen my eyesight, to give me a greater perspective, to see the bigger picture, to not live from the standpoint of selfishness, but know what it is to love, to understand, to have sympathy, to care, to be concerned, to give and not just hoard, to understand that I am not in this world by myself, and so everything doesn't cater to me, but it's understanding the responsibility that I have and the decisions that I make, that it impacts others. And these are some heavy weights that we carry, I understand. But as we mature in life and as we begin to embrace the things that we've experienced and embrace the wisdom that came along with it, embrace the development that has come along with that, then we find ourselves equipped to walk in the opportunities that are provided to us in this current season and in the next seasons of our lives. This is not your time where you repeat the cycles. Your life is not meant to be a rerun of previous seasons. Your life is meant to be an evolution where each season gets better. even if it brings you on a certain amount of pain, that now you know how to process it from a healthy perspective because you've already experienced what it is to process it in a toxic level. You've already experienced having emotions to hit you in such a way. Now you should be able to process these things with wisdom, with a keenness, and embrace where you are, but make decisions and take on the perspective of healthiness, of wholeness, to understand that these things are always working in my favor. Let that be your mantra. That all things are working in my favor. Let that be your belief that all things are working in my favor. Let that be your declaration of faith that all things are working in my favor. Every opportunity that I lost, it worked in my favor. Every opportunity that is open to me is working in my favor. Every connection that I learned from, even in the mishandling, the opportunity to learn prepared me to walk in a better wisdom and a better understanding. I wish that I had knew what I know now earlier. I wish that I had the energy and the strength and the capacity to do what I want to do now back then. But back then, I held so much anger. I held so much bitterness. I held on and I validated so much insecure thinking. I let other people's thoughts of me and impressions of me guide me in my judgment and help navigate me in certain aspects instead of me being confident in who I am and letting the truth of my identity and the purpose that God has instilled in me be my director, be my navigator. You got to understand and you got to reinterpret and you got to interpret correctly that where you have been has been to make you and to cultivate you into the place where you are now, where you're in a position for change. You are in a position to pivot if you need to pivot. You're in a position to go harder if you need to go harder, to go in if you need to go in. If you need to re-strategize, you're in a position where you're able to identify it and you can build the necessary connections and networks. And if you're not in a position where you can now make better decisions, it is really a time to reevaluate. Why haven't you changed? Why are you still holding on to the misinterpretations and the mislabeling of ideas and situations and occurrences that happen in your life? Are you still holding on to the bitterness and the resentment and the shame and the guilt and the insecurities of your past? Are you still holding on to the lack of validation that you've always been wanting from other people who may or may not mean a lot to you, but their words hit you harder than your own words hit yourself? You've taken their thoughts and you've taken their thoughts as truth, and you've given greater validity to it than your own thinking and over what even God himself has said about you. You've diminished your greatness so that others can accept you, so that you will feel the comfort of being able to fit in, when really you fitting in with those low level thinkings and thoughts and crowd of people was really diminishing the glory of who you are as an individual, and stealing the distinctiveness of who you are, and stealing the shine of the light in which you were created to be, to brightly shine. This is the season for you to reevaluate. If you are still stuck in that, it is time for you to let go of that, to change it. You've been around this mountain long enough. I declare to you, this is your season of change. This is your season of transformation. This is the season where if you need to pivot, you've got what it takes to pivot. You've got what it takes to change the trajectory of your life. And if this season is requiring of you that you begin to amp it, you begin to fortify yourself, you begin to propel yourself with greater energy, I want you to awaken yourself that it's already in you. You have the strength. You may be diversifying your strength to other areas. Well, maybe you need to hone in your focus on this area of your life, whatever that may be. Maybe you need to put some energy, greater energy, into the things that matter the most, and begin to pull away from the things that are not bringing you what you need to bring to you, that are not pouring into you, that are not validating you in the way that you need to be validated. I'm not talking about pampering your ego, but I'm saying things that speak to your purpose, things that speak to who you are and the values of who you are, the character of who you are, the integrity of who you are. I'm not speaking of things that just pacify you and say, yeah, even when you need to hear no, it's still saying yes, no. I'm talking about the things that speak to the essence of who you are, that will help develop you, that will help strengthen you, encourage you, that will help you focus, that will help you walk in a level of clarity that you've never walked in before. This is your season to do it. This is your time to do it. So don't wait for another moment. Don't wait for another year. Don't wait for another month, but begin to pause. applause and give yourself the honor, give yourself the respect, give yourself the allegiance and the commitment that this season I will pivot, I will change, I will go forward, I will re-strategize, I will revisit the plans that I've thrown away, because I know that this is the time for me to pick it back up and relaunch it and start again. This is my season to love again. This is my season to rebuild relationships again. This is my season to reconnect where reconnections are needed. This is my season to forgive where forgiveness is needed. This is my season to go all the way in. We would say back when I was growing up, man, it's time to go ham. That means you're going all the way in. You're giving yourself 1,000%. You're not looking for a plan B. You're committed to the plan. You're committed to the plan A. You're committed to the vision. You're committed to the goal. You're committed to seeing this thing come to its place of point of fruition. You're looking to see it manifest. Yep, manifest. And you got to remind yourself that this is where I am right now. This is where I am. I am in the place where I woke up from the state of dreaming. And now I'm building what I've always dreamed about. I am cultivating the life that I want. I am walking in the wisdom of what I've experienced in my past. And I am redefining and relabeling what I've mislabeled and incorrectly defined, from this understanding that all things, everything is working for me. Whew. That was a lot for this session. But don't try to take it in at once. Digest it. Write it down. Be encouraged. This season is a game changer for the good. We'll talk later. Hey, thanks again for joining me in this discussion today, Empowerment Sessions. I really appreciate and hope that you did take the time to subscribe if you already haven't. And also, if you took a moment to share it. If you haven't, you still got time to do it. Now, listen, remember that this podcast is meant to empower the authentic version of you to impact the world around you like only you can. Now, you can follow me even after the podcast is over on Instagram at empowerment_sessions or at I am Philip Super. And even on Facebook, you can join the empowerment community as well if you follow me on there with Empowerment Sessions page. All right. I look forward to adding you guys to the group and seeing your comments on how this podcast has really impacted you in a positive way. Until next time, remember, it's all about you being empowered to help the next generation.